Oh, it might be HOYOVERSE for real. That's not good. I honestly think, guys, that Zenless Zone Zero could actually be putting, like, Hoyo into, like, a more of a deficit now. What's up, gamers? And today, we're gonna be exploring the best way to rate a game. And obviously, you know from the title and thumbnail, we're gonna be going over the Gacha revenue charts today, talking about what the best Gacha games on the market are, because we know the more revenue you make, the better Gacha game you are. So that's what we're exploring in today's video, but I think we should start first by really going over the graveyard. What games have poofed into oblivion? And guys, I hate to see it. Gamers, Artery Gear is dead. Now, you might be like, what is Artery Gear? Now, if you're an OG of the channel, I used to play this game. I did summons on this game, and it was ass. It probably deserved to die about a year ago. Anyways, that's besides the point, though, okay? But Artery Gear is dead now. RIP 07's in the comment section down below for Artery Gear. Let's hop into the actual revenue chart. I won't look at what the top of the list is yet, because we already know what's going to be the top of the list. Honkai Star Rail, Wuthering Waves, Zenless Zone Zero, everything like that. I'm actually very curious to see what Zenless Zone Zero is looking like now. We know it kind of have a lackluster beginning with 90 million, which arguably is not very good, hopping into like the intro period of the game, but we'll get into all that in a little bit later in the video. Now, let's go ahead and start down here first. Hegan, bro. Hegan has the exact, bro, it's the same guy. It has to be 23,800 in revenue. Was this like the same revenue every single month? Okay, dude, look at this. It won't even give me the combined number here. It's so bad. Guys, 10,000. It's the same guy. It has to be the same guy, or maybe they're just putting this money into the game to make it prevalent, right? Oh my god. RIP, Hegan, Irithil, you'll live forever in our souls for the game that came up so fast and then died so quickly after. I want to say something, guys. This is probably the most hyped I've ever been for a game. Seeing all the stuff that I thought that Vic Studios was going to do with Black Clover Mobile, I was so hyped for this game. And then it just shit the bed. It just did so bad. 17 million in the first month. Holy shit. JP did, well, I don't even know, not that high, 400,000 there. Bro, oh my god, it's just so sad to see this, guys, because I really wanted this game to pop off. It had so much potential, and they just went and ruined it with their dog shit gacha system and dog shit PvP system. Oh, Black Clover Mobile, what could have been. Sad to see it go, though. Big thing here, guys. Punishing Gray Raven. Dude, wait, this is actually so down bad. Cookie Run Kingdom made more than Punishing Gray Raven. Come on, guys. Cookie Copium Kingdom. They're the cash grab kings. Anyways, Punishing Grave Raven. Actually, I mean, I'm glad to see this game still pushing numbers, right? I mean, this game is old as shit. 2019. That's an old-ass game, guys. In Gacha game terms, anyways, that's a pretty old-ass game. And for it to even still be bringing in revenue numbers like this, and it's not attached to, like, a major title like Fate or, like, Dragon Ball or Naruto or, like, one of, like, the big, like, animes or something like that. It's good to see that this game's still pushing over $1 million a month. I think this is really good for Kuro Games, but I do want to see what Wuthering Waves numbers looking like, because, guys, I was told last month they didn't calculate for the first 3 days or the first week of the new banner. So we should see a like the same revenue number or an increase. We should not see that much lower of a revenue number from Wuthering Waves, guys, okay? We should not see it. We should see it higher than what it was last month, because if that is the case, if that was the case that Changli was that low, there is no reason why the new Paint Girl should be that low as well, right? I think Changli was a lot more hyped than the Paint Girl, so maybe we'd see I still don't think we see a dip, even if it was taking away from those first 3 days of revenue. I don't know. Oh no. It's Kurover, gamers. Gamers, it's Kurover. What? There is no shot. The revenue split again? What the fuck? It went from 27 to 13 to 8? Oh, it's worse than, oh, man. Oh, that's not. It went to 5 million CN? It was always higher. It was higher. Oh, there's no way. You're telling me more people are playing it? That's horrible. Like, usually CN's what carries games. 19, 17, 5. Global 27, 13, 8. Ooh. Like, even if this is not accounting in for a couple days, like, that's a pretty big loss. Again, like, don't get me wrong. The revenue number there is not bad. $13 million, globally seeing not bad at all. I'm gonna make some graphs a little bit later in the video to kind of like show like what I mean by this, but that's a pretty big decrease. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like, what's going on? Did they just not track revenue again? And I know PC revenue is not included. And I know probably quite a bit more people play on PC, but it can't be that much higher. Like, it can't be that much higher of a revenue increase to really warrant like, oh, this game's doing amazingly, right? I don't think the game is doing as Crow expected. I'm not gonna lie, guys, but we're gonna get into that a little bit later into the video. Oh, it might be HOYOVERSE for real. That's like a 66% decrease in revenue for Zenless. That's not good. Oh, that's really not good. I want to get a breakdown here. So what is this? We're globally right now. This is global plus Japan, probably, right? 31 to 15. That's half the revenue. CN. Holy shit, that's horrible. 69 to 17. Oh, that's actually bad. Wait, 17 mil there, 15. They're not that much more ahead of. That's horrible. I want to look at this because obviously Genshin Impact's preparing for the new patch, right? They're preparing for their new land, right? What is it called? Natland, right? So I mean, that's fine to be low, right? That's fine to be low, right? The Honkai Star Rail had a dead patch. It was Yunli and then also Zhaozhou as well, right? So dead patch. But this is just starting off the game, right? So what patches, what characters do we have here, right? So this was the end of Zhu Yan's banner, and then this was the beginning of Qingyi's banner, right? As far as Zenless' revenue goes, right? So Qingyi, end of Zhu Yan, and then it's not accounting in for what I think Jane Doe is going to explode this number a lot, by the way. But still, even with that being said, that's way too low, I think. That's horrible for them. That's not good. That's really not good. I honestly think, guys, that Zenless Zone Zero could actually be putting like Hoyo into like a more of a deficit now. I don't think they're in a deficit, by the way, guys. I think they've already covered their developmental costs of the game, especially in the first 2 months. How much did it cost to develop Zenless Zone Zero? Let me see. Okay, guys, I couldn't find a number for ZZZ, but apparently it took around $100 million to develop Genshin Impact. And this game's on a smaller scale, I will say. Animation there, I don't think they would probably take. I don't think it would take 100 million to make. Maybe now's day of age, it would probably take closer to that, judging from inflation and stuff like that. I think they kind of had some assets in place there, but overall, like the animations there. Story didn't, I don't know, maybe it doesn't cost 100 million to make, right? I like it, right? It could not cost 100 million to make, right? It could be the, I guess least budgeted game, or have like the least money budgeted to it. We don't know what the budget looks like, or like the amount it took to actually create Zenless Zone Zero, but that's really not good, right? I mean, like, that's a huge drop off. Like, we can even take a look at something like here from what, Honkai Star Rail, right? This is like the second month Honkai Star release. 81 million to 58 million to 41 to 49 to this, right? When's the first time it didn't drop to this number? And wait, that's, by the way, guys, this is just globally, right? This is not even including CN numbers. They didn't start tracking CN until this time right here. So right here, this is going to be global plus Japan, not including China. And this is including everything, right? This is including global plus China plus CN. And we're talking, this game has made $31 million. That's huge. That's a huge L. I'm not going to lie. It's huge L for Zenless Zone Zero. It went from being the best gacha game on the market to being the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th best gacha game on the market. But hey, still better than Wuthering Waves, if you catch what I'm saying here. Oh, like this number right here needs to be outperforming when these two are on dead patches, right? Like how it should look is you should see like we have a dead patch for one game, a live patch for another game, and then the revenue should be like, I guess, up more in one game while the other two revenues are lower. And I think this actually kind of proves a weird fact with Zenless Zone Zero, or just HOYOVERSE in general. I think they were trying to push into a new market with Zenless Zone Zero, guys. I don't think they did that. I think what they're doing is just sharing player base. Let's say we're talking about the average player, right? This is their wallet, right? As far as their spending allocation here. Say they have 100% here, right? So they're taking this 100% and they're dividing between two games, right? It was divided between probably HSR and Genshin, right? Right now, people are spending, you know, so let's say a battle pass and a Welkin, right? Let's put BP here, right? Let's put BP here, put PP here, right? They're spending both of their monies, putting, you know, some money into the BP here, some money in the BP Welkin here, whatever, right? Daily pass, right? Now with Zenless coming out, right? I think what people are doing is I think they are deciding, do I even like Zenless Zone Zero first of all, right? Is that a game I even want to get into? So if not, then I don't even play this game at all, right? Which I think that's what we see with the revenue numbers in general dropping below that of what a dead patch in Honkai Star Rail looks like on patch 1.1, I think people overall are just not deciding to play the game. And then on top of that as well, I think where we see some of that revenue coming from, maybe some people that are playing all 3 games, maybe like AKA the Hoyo Shills are going, let's stop buying Battle Pass here. I've been playing Genshin for years. I don't need any extra materials here. Now I need to get materials here, but I don't have the budget to do it over here. So now let's buy the BP over here. So now what they're doing is they're taking revenue away from that game and playing this game. It looks to me like the player base in Zenless Zone Zero, Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact are all the same players. They're not spending any more money, right? And I don't think that's what the Zenless Zone Zero wanted to do. I think they were appealing to the fighting game community so much to bring in a new community of people playing the game, and I don't think it looks like that. And that's what I want to talk to you about now, right, guys? I have actually made this little chart up here going over gacha revenue for HOYOVERSE, and I also have one for Wuthering Waves as well, which we'll talk about a little bit after this, right? Because I do want to show a comparison. So, guys, this is the revenue chart for HOYOVERSE over the past couple months since January, right? So let's just go ahead and pop through here, right? So this white line right here is HOYOVERSE revenue in general. Yellow line here is Genshin Impact. Red line here is Honkai Star Rail. As you can see, usually most of the time, Genshin, Honkai Star Rail competing for top spot. HSR has been ahead in the first couple of months here. January, Genshin Impact was ahead. We have Acheron release here, 144 million. This is still residuals of Acheron going into April, but as you can see, Genshin Impact surpassed it. Don't know what released there. And then we have Honkai Star Rail come back on top with 91 million, probably another patch everyone wanted. And then we had the Firefly banner, right? And this has been the general revenue consensus here, right? As you can see, Raise drops down to 144 million for HOYOVERSE as a company, right? As net profits. And then back here in January it was 146 million. So what we can say, guys, is this line right here, this is the baseline revenue for like the HOYOVERSE, right? This is where the median revenue is kind of at, right? If we look on the graph of like where most points are coming back to, it's around this 150 million mark, right? This is, I would say, on average what HOYOVERSE plans to make, right? Now let's look at the launch here, right? This is actually before the launch of Zenless Zone Zero. Revenue both went up again. This is Firefly's release, so revenue shot up a little bit here, as we can see. And then this is the release of Zenless Zone Zero. We are right here. A launch of a game should never be this low, considering Quran's release had 144 million globally. The launch of Honkai Star Rail made 81 million for global and JP, not even accounting in for CN. So this number is probably, let's be honest, Genshin launch probably right here, and then what, we have Honkai Star Rail's launch probably around here for total revenue for HOYOVERSE, right? Then we have peaks when these more popular characters come out, right? This right here should not be this low. I said this in my last video. This is a very slow and bad start for HOYOVERSE with Zenless Zone Zero. We're talking, we haven't even busted the 200 million mark, which the games were making before. And yes, I understand this isn't a dead patch, but that shouldn't matter because Zenless Zone Zero is a new game. So overall, I don't think this is a failure, right? Because their revenue did go up a bit, right? That is over their baseline. But the thing is, right, this right here, this number is the baseline for having 2 games that they're supporting. I guess Honkai Impact III goes into that category too. And this is like just based off of their heavy hitters in the category, right? That are making them the most money. This right here changes. Whenever you release a new game, you have more upkeep costs to go into the game. You have a new, like, basic, let's just say AAA title, because I mean that's what these games are coming to nowadays. The revenue expectation should be higher than this now, I think. I think with the release of that, I think the revenue expectation should probably, let me not use a highlighter here, should probably be around this area now. Like, this should be the expectation now. This dot right here should be where the new expectation's at of like median revenue, right? This is where the new expectation for average revenue should be at, right? So obviously this surpassed it, right? But this should be a lot higher. This point right here should be up here for a normal HOYOVERSE launch. And honestly, this next one right here, which we're going to talk about that dog shit right there in a second, should be probably around this area, right? Like, let's just say they have a really bad second. It should be around here. It should be near this average, right? That's where the second patch should be. If we're talking all 3 games are in a dead patch, 1.1 does absolute shit. This is where the game should be at. So if we go back to the peak of HOYOVERSE in the last year, Genshin Impact alone has made more than HOYOVERSE as a company this month with a new game added to their roster here. Their revenue, the revenue for Zenless Zone Zero dropped below both Genshin, both HSR in a dead patch. That is horrible. And this could be a massive problem. It could be HOYOVER because operation costs are obviously going to rise, right? But if the revenue keeps dropping, they're going to have to do something about that, right? Either A, they're investing less into their games, which I don't think they would do. I don't think they would completely give up a game until a couple months down the line when it's just still not working and doing anything. Then maybe they put less budget into the game. This could cause for less quality and probably Zenless Zone Zero, guys. That's what I could see this as. Now, is this bad by any means, right? Is this like, is the company dying? No. I don't think operational cost is more than $100 million a month. I would say probably their monthly operational cost is probably in the $25 million range. I mean, maybe even lower than that, right? So I think as long as they're making more than this baseline right here, I think they're fine in terms of like company-wise, right? So I mean, this obviously this number can't go down that low. If it went down that low, then it's kind of danger territory. But this is not looking good, right? I think they failed in the attempt to make a niche game that taps a new market, and I think we can see that with the revenue charts this month, guys. It's just not looking good for HOYOVERSE. I just want to kind of show a comparison here of how a game can actually be detrimental to a company versus how a game can actually help a company's growth out. Because obviously they went from, you know, PGR making around what 2.4 million a month to now they're making 15 million a month, and the Honkai Star Rail went from in January making 146 million a month to now 111 million a month. That shows you the big difference there of how a game can actually kill revenue if you don't target the right audiences and if you don't actually achieve targeting the new audience. Anyways, guys, what do you think of the revenue charts, gamers? Is AFK Journey the best game on the market? Is Love in Deep Space still your #1? Or is Fate Grand Order just creaming your pants, okay? Because we know HOYOVERSE is not on top right now. AFK Journey is better, Love in Deep Space is better, and Fate Grand Order is all better than Genshin Impact. I think we should go back to the old days and make games just like FGO that was made in 2015. Obviously, they were doing it better than we're doing it now. Anyways, gamers, that's going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys. Subscribe.